Salah. Hey everyone! Hello! Welcome back, fashion lovers and eco warriors. So this is LunaLoop. My name is Safia,
And my name is Ain.
and today we are going to make denim keychains, something like this. Yay! Okay, so first off, we're gonna start with what you need. So for this one, you will need an old jeans, something like this. We have this here. It is cut off at the bottom. And yeah, find jeans that you don't wear anymore. And then for the stuffing of the keychain, just find any fabric scraps that you have. For this one, we'll be using this fabric scrap that we have. And then for details like this eyes, we're gonna use buttons. You can find this at any kedai RM2 or eco shop or whatever. And then scissors to cut off your fabric, and then a marker pen to trace out your design. And lastly, you would need fab thread and needles. Okay,
Yes.
so we're gonna prepare our station first, and we'll come back to you in a minute.
Bye.
Alright, so this is our workstation, and we're gonna start off with cutting the fabric first. So here I have the jeans laid out, and we're not gonna cut off much because I'm gonna make a small keychain just like this one. So for that, I'm just gonna cut off on the leg part. So just take maybe like a small part like this. And you can keep the excess fabric for later if you need it. And now I'm gonna cut off at the seams here so that we can make it a little spacious and so that we can draw our design. So for my design, I'm gonna make a, since we have already done a fish like this, I'm gonna make a flower. So let's start sketching the flower. So we're gonna have 5 petals. Okay. If you're not happy with the shape, you can make another one. We're gonna do it like this instead. Okay. Okay, that's much better. And so you can start cutting your fabric. So what I do is I'm just gonna lay it on top of each other like this. So we have 2 copies of the same shape since it's gonna be front and back. So let's just cut this one. Do take your time cutting this. You don't wanna mess it up. And you can fix the shape if you need to, like this part here. And now you have 2 parts of the flower. Like this. Okay, so now I want to add a little button just for details. And I have multiple colors here, so I'm gonna choose the purple one. Okay, I'm gonna take this one. Okay. So we're gonna sew this here in the middle. Like so. So take your needle and also your thread like this. And we're gonna sew this. We'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. Dua. Okay. So we are back. So now we're gonna sew the button onto the first flower, like this one. So sewing this is actually pretty simple. So just make sure your button is at the middle of the flower, and then poke through your needle from the back. Poke through the small holes between the buttons here, like so, like this, and then you just pull it out, and then just sew like you normally would. I usually do it in an X pattern, just so that it's a little more secure. So there's like four holes. So like this, the second button goes to the bottom left, and the first button goes to the fourth button. And then you're just gonna sew it. I like to go multiple times so that it's actually secure and it won't fall off. Okay, now that I'm happy with it, I'm gonna secure the thread by going over it in the back like this multiple times also. And then you have it. Your button is now it's now on the fabric. You can cut off the excess thread, and now you have it. And now it's time to sew these two together. So make sure the petals are on the same side like this. And then you can start sewing. Again, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And now I have prepared my thread and also my needle. And now we're gonna sew these parts together. So first off, how I'm going to sew this, I'm just going to do it as normal first for the first part. Like this. And then pull it out. Okay, and then we're gonna pull this out here. But before you pull it up until the end, you want to loop it out with the needle. And this is called the blanket stitch method. And just continue doing this until your fabric parts are all sewn together. There is a little um error, so we're gonna come back to you guys in a bit. Okay, we're back. And I fixed this stitch and I'm gonna show it to you guys again. So this one, um, we're gonna do blanket stitch. So what you'll do is you take your needle, poke through this, and then before you end the loop, you want to put you want to make sure your needle go through the thread like this. I'll show you guys again. Here, poke, and then go over the thread. And that is how you make a blanket stitch. And we're just gonna do this until our flower is attached to each other. One thing you need to make sure is your needle will be poking through the same side each time. Meaning, if you poke through your needle from the back side, and every time you loop it, it's gonna poke through the back side too. Like this. And go through. And it's attached now. The first petal is attached. And now let's go through this part. And then go through the thread. And now onto this part here. And then, oops. Okay, so you got stuck somewhere. I'm just gonna fix that. We'll be right back. Okay. I think it's easier if we go through the petal one by one. So now we finished the first petal, we'll go through the second one. Just do the same sewing method as we did before. Make sure it's not um all tangled up. And make sure not to pull too tight or you will make the fabric go a little weird. So you don't want that. And now the second petal is done. And we have something like this. And make sure nothing can leak through. I mean, it's okay if it has like small, like not each, the holes between the petals shouldn't be this big or else the stuffing will go out. So just make sure it's like small enough, but also make it big if you wanna sew it a little more faster. Now onto the third petal. We'll go from the back and then oh, as you can see, our fabric is not really lined up properly. You can fix that after you finish sewing. You can cut the excess off. Oops. Okay, third petal then. So I think we're gonna end the stitch here because we need to top up the thread. So to end the stitch, I like to just go for one last loop and then make it double. Oop, make it double like that. And go through it again. And then this the last loop go through the same side like so. Okay, and then you can cut the excess thread off. Now you have something like this. Okay, now I think it will be a great time to insert our stuffing. So here I have some fabric scraps. What you can do is just you can just cut this however you want because our purpose is just to make the keychain a little bit fluffy, not fluffy, a little more squishy. So you can just cut this and fold it into smaller bits and then you can stuff it in. Okay, see what I mean? If the hole is a little too big, the stuffing is just gonna come out. So I'm gonna stuff it in this petal first. And then fold it again. Okay, now it has a little shape to it. Okay. This one, I just want to push the fabric down a little easier, so I'm stuffing the fabric now. And let's finish sewing up until the fourth petal before we close this completely. So take your thread and let's go through the needle. Okay. I like to make my thread double layered just so I know it's not gonna break easily. And cut off. And then I like to tie the ends of the thread just so that it won't go through the fabric later. Okay. So we're gonna sew this fourth petal. For the first loop, just loop it as usual. Okay. And now the same method also blanket stitch here and then go through this here. Mm. If you have excess like this, you again just cut it off. It was from the earlier loop. Okay. And if you feel unsure, you can just go through the loop again. Okay, so before we sew the last petal, I'm gonna finish the stuffing of our flower. So just crumple it up and stuff it in. Crumple and go in. Oh, there's two openings here. We're gonna fix that later. Okay. I'm gonna sew until this end here before we really finish off with the stuffing. Okay, now do the same. Now what it has this opening, let's finish stuffing our fabric. So crumple it and go through. Okay, I'll cut this. And you see there's still a small hole there, so we're gonna fix that. Just and cut off the excess and fix whatever you need to. Like here, we have some excess thread, so you can just cut it. And there you have it, your flower. Also here, it's not the best looking flower, but for a first time, for a beginner, it's good enough. It's cute, it feels vintage and it has a little handmade, if like a handmade feeling to it. So this is our flower. You can turn this into a keychain, putting attaching a jump ring on it, but unfortunately we don't have that, so we're gonna make this into a badge and we're gonna show the final product in a bit, so we'll be right back. And here is the final result. These are the two denim badges that we did today. And I attach it to the bag that we made using a t-shirt. If you want to know how to make this bag, you can go through our YouTube channel. There's a tutorial there. And look at this. It looks so cute. It's very like a cute core aesthetic. And yeah. So this is what we did today. And I really hope this tutorial is helpful to you. And if you do follow this tutorial, be sure to tag us so that we can see that. And just a little summary of what we did for the past weeks. So we did this keychain, this badge, and then this bag, and then also the first ever upcycling thing we did was this ribbon. And also like the bag, if you want to know how to make this ribbon bows, you can go through our YouTube and you can watch the tutorial there. So that is all for today's stream. I really hope you enjoyed it, and happy upcycling. Bye bye.